Well, it's a very complicated topic because populism is one of those complicated political concepts that alludes both to the ability of a regime, a political regime, to include people that for one or another reason have been historically disenfranchised. But some authors have also talked about the dark side of populism. I mean, the authoritarian tendencies that are inscribed in the very notion of invoking the people as a unified whole, which is homogeneous, which is seamless, because once you do that, you have to necessarily posit that whole intention with an external enemy. I mean, you know, if everything is equal, if everything is seamless, if everything is homogeneous, any disruptions have to be attributed necessarily to some external influence or to some internal enemy that is come. So it has the possibilities, it has redemptive possibilities in terms of the ability of populist organizations, for movements to include those that for one or another historical reason have been not included, unenfranchised, disenfranchised, etc. But it also has the possibility of developing into a very authoritarian form of government. And that's the complicated issue. I think that that's a very good question, and very difficult to answer, because a possible answer would be to set some kind of European or North American model as the necessary end of things, and then, you know, how far is Latin America from that or far. What I think is important is to realize what are the conflicts that are constitutive of that world in order to invent forms of democracy, of liberalism, of whatever, that are adapted to that world, in which the ability to recognize that populism is there for a reason can be articulated with more democratic forms of government. But the first task in order to do that, in order to invent the kind of republicanism, if you wish, that is adapted to local circumstances, is recognize the kind of fractures, fissures, complexities that are characteristic of that world. And it's important to do that, I think. That's the way the book is an exhortation to move in that direction.